big on white collar workers. They believe that you need to be doctors, lawyers, nurse practitioners. They're not much into the skilled labors. So they don't believe in welders. They don't believe in building trades. They don't, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's actually how I got involved with fire rescue because I still had a contract they had to honor, and they're like, well, we don't necessarily have we can either pay your contract out for 18 months or we can place you here. I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of cool. I can dig this. This is fun. I can dig this. So I started doing like administrative tasks for fire rescue because then I could be operational as a volunteer. Um, so I got the best of both worlds. And then I got my CDL because they're like, okay, that's only about 30 hours a week. You still got to work and honor your 40 hours a week. I'm like, okay, fine. So I went and I got my CDL and was driving activities bus.
Oh,
And oh my, let me tell you, the kindergartners are worse than the high schoolers. Kindergartners are worse than the high schoolers. There is no filter on a kindergartner. There is absolutely no filter on a kindergartner. They're not bad, don't get me wrong, but there's just no filter on them. What comes out of their mouth just is hysterical. I wish I could have recorded it. Some days I wish I could record their comments. Um it was an interesting.
Hello, hey guys, how are you?
hey, Chai.
What is going on? I'm on my way to Dallas. I'm in the car, and my very well-behaved kids are sitting in the back. So just uh, so how's everyone doing? Is getting closer to uh end of the year.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Erin. Raylene, we just spoke this week and she decided to join because she wants to get better at underwriting. So welcome. Woohoo.
Morning,
Awesome.
Jada.
Good
We
morning.
should get going.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I was very glad that I learned a little bit more about Patrick's past. Thank you for that. Does anybody have a deal that they want us to look at? Nobody? I know Mario's doing it.
I'll send one Jada over right now.
Perfect. Hey, Jason. Alex. Haha. Nice to see you guys.
Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning. Here, Erin, I don't know if you have you been to one of these before? Yeah, right?
I have, I think this is probably my third or fourth one.
Yeah. Did I have you introduce yourself on one of the past ones?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mario or Jason, I don't think I've had you guys introduce yourself. So whoever's available, I say do it. Let the people know who you are. What do you do? What can you help with? What do you need?
Anything specific?
Nope. To real estate. Why are you here?
Why am I here? To get better at what we do is I guess what I would say. But my name is Jason. I'm in located near Los Angeles, California. I'm a real estate agent, just got my but doing my best to get into investing side of things, and that's where I want to focus on. Working on my first fix and flip. Currently have a property that we're looking at. So excited about that. Um, and I mean, that's pretty much it.
Dude, first fix and flip. Chai, what do you have as far as some tips for fix and flippers, especially if it's their first one?
Oh my God, lot of comments, but have you started it or are you looking for it?
We already have the property, and I went to look around myself, and I've done the underwriting myself. Obviously, in my limited experience, I've had the best conclusion that I can come up with. But yeah, we
Okay.
know what place you want to look at.
And so few things. If it's your very first one, I would talk to local realtors and get a lot of data. Okay. I need you to finalize your realtor by interviewing a few, and whoever feels the warmest, you should go with them, and then also get their help early on. Make sure they sell properties in that area on a regular basis. Okay. You don't want realtors, trying their luck for like using your property. So someone who knows that area, who works with investors, would be your ideal candidate. Usually, I mean, again, I don't want to say man or woman is better, but I have seen more women active and more effective in this space than men. So, someone who is regularly involved in community activities in that area would be a great candidate as well. So they can tell you what works and what doesn't. And every year, every quarter, the buyer's mindset is different. Oftentimes, I mean, buyers are looking for certain thing because of the market trend. Like right now, interest rates are really high. So buyers will feel like they're getting a good deal if you add a lot of updates to justify your price. So maybe adding like decorative walls or like just good color scheme alone will go long way. Because I'm working, so I have taken a lot of interest this year. I mean, last year. Well, this year, I'm sorry, in designing the flips. So before I used to just look up online and just make like a plain box for people to imagine whatever they want. But what I've realized is, I mean, again, California is a bit different, but in Texas, it's still, uh, I mean, if you apply design to a lower end house, it's very, very, very appreciated because it's not common. So adding those design touches and good finishes would go a long way. So make sure you are mindful of these things. And then one of the most important things, rather your top priority should be to have a great contractor, number one, but you need to set them up for success. And what that means is you need to have all your plan nailed down, like, and figured out 100%. Like you cannot start the contractor and tell them to, oh, I need to open this wall in after painting, because you cannot change your mind like that. So go through it, take maybe a week if you want, with your partner, whoever you're working with. Make sure you talk, like spending good hour or 2 hours at the site without any distractions is very important. Like when you go, when you're on the way to a party or a like some like family thing or whatever, and then you stop at that flip on the way is not a good idea. It should be a dedicated exercise. Like it should be, okay, I get up today, it's a weekday, and this is part of my schedule. Is very important to think like that. Because when you are on the way somewhere and the flip happens to be on the way and you just stop there, and your wife or your friends are like, oh, we are getting late, let's go, are you done? That's not going to help. You need to spend dedicated time, because there is a lot of value to putting real thought into what you want this to look like. Because you have talked to the realtor, you've talked to other flippers, you've talked to your contractor. Now you want to imagine that. Okay, you talk to your designer maybe. If you need help with design, just reach out to me. I can have our designer help you with this.
So far,
We have a very, yeah.
so far what I've done, I wish I would have came on here beforehand, but I already had an architect out there yesterday. So they measured, they did, you know, whatever they're going to do on the site, their assessment.
Yeah.
So they're currently going to work on doing the designs and what's for the plans on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I've already done that part, and I'm just waiting on what they come up with to determine what the actual ARV could be.
Yeah.
Because right now there's no much comparables right now because it was built as a 1x1, but it has space to build on it or to build a 2-story.
So this is a one
but
bedroom, one bath property?
Yeah, but there was some damage to it because a tree fell. But
Oh,
the
okay.
surrounding areas, everything's really high price. But it's just that
Okay.
whoever had this lot was just they just built it small. So that's why I wanted the architect to go out there to see.
Turn right on
built.
US 190 West North
And once
Freeway
he,
Service Road.
once he
Okay.
gets the plans on Tuesday, then
Service Road for
he says,
half
okay,
mile.
the 2-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 1-bath, or whatever the deal is, then the
Yeah.
plan is to compare it to the existing ones around there,
Yeah.
which we've already seen that they sell for around like 900.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I've done so far.
So what is your purchase on this?
They're wanting to sell it at 400,
So
400,000.
you purchased it for 400 already?
No, we haven't. I wanted the architect out there first. Then once he tells us what we could build, then go from there. Because I don't want to
Oh,
buy.
okay. Oh, so you haven't secured it yet, the property.
No.
It's
I wanted
it's
to
in
get it.
process. Okay, great.
Yeah, for how it
So
is right
yeah,
now,
it's not,
always
I mean,
buying.
it's not too late. We are already talking before you've made the
Yeah.
purchase. So 400,000 to purchase this property, it's a 1-1. How
Correct.
many square feet?
In total 2504. But whatever, how do I say it? I don't know how to word it exactly, but the livable square feet, right, is it's like 640.
Okay. So you need to add, and then you need to check the comps. And
Correct.
how big is the lot, by the way?
2504.
Okay. And I mean, have people square feet on these lots? I mean, townhome styles, whatever. Are you gonna go up or wide? I mean, horizontal.
Well, we know we can go horizontal. The plan is to see how much we can go and if not go up. But that's why we're waiting on the architect to say what we can do. But he said for sure we can go up.
Okay.
Whether we
Okay.
do whatever we gotta do. Yeah.
So, and the house, after adding maybe like 400-500 square feet, it will sell for 900, is that?
Correct. Well, that's what the ones around there are selling for.
So you got a spread of about, I mean, you have around 400 to purchase and 900 to exit minus closing costs. So you have around 450 minus repairs. So that's
Correct.
your, I mean, tentative number, 450 or more like 400 minus repairs. So you
Right.
need to stay under 200,000 in your rehab. So now California numbers are very surprising because what I can build, I mean, if I build 1,000-1,200 square feet house, I can build the entire house from foundation to permitting all the way to everything for less, I mean, around 100,000. But just adding 400 square feet in California could cost you 150 grand or more. So I think 200 grand budget should be fine in my opinion. But yeah, you talk to your contractor, make sure you have your calculated profit is more than 20%. Like net profit in hand. Because if you don't have that much profit, then you're not, I mean, this business is not sustainable.
Right. And my family owns a construction, so they're the ones who I'm going.
Oh, okay.
So
they are the ones doing
yeah,
this.
once I get the plans on Tuesday, then I'm gonna give it to them, and they're gonna. I told them that I need a scope of work
Oh,
of
beautiful.
how much it costs and stuff.
So when you say your family, who is it? Like your like dad, brother, family, or a distant family?
Dad and brother are the owners of it, and then they have
Oh, okay.
work
So
with.
very like close family, like immediate
Yeah.
family.
Oh, we lost you.
Hello?
Oh.
Am I
You're back.
audible?
I don't know if it's lagging just on my end. I'm on the freeway, so maybe it's me.
No.
I didn't
No,
know.
I can hear you. Yeah, we're good. I think Chai's just getting into a dead zone. In the meantime, Mario, what would you like to say?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Is it? Am I back?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Um, you're spending the money, you don't have it under a contract, and you're spending money on an architect. What I usually do when I build or rehabbing, I call the building inspector and say, I'm a builder, rehabber coming into the community. What would you allow me to do in this building? The building inspector can tell me the setbacks, all the regs, and tells me what I can do. I don't really give a damn about the opinion of a realtor because they're usually not accurate. I want the building inspector, the guy who's going to give me the permits, to tell me what he allows me to do. So
I
that's the first thing.
question to
Second,
that. Oh, go
huh?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say. So you're saying you who after the building inspector? Or who?
Yeah, the guy who's when you pull in the permits. Here's the other thing. If I'm working on a contract and I have no idea, just little tricks in the trades that I would do. I offer the contractor instead of a scope of work fee. Let's say he tells me, "Oh, I can do it for 200,000." I say to them, "We're anticipating a 300,000, you know, uh, profit margin here. Would you like to become an equity position on with me?" And the reason I do that is I want the builder to be on time and I want the builder to keep the budget on accurate. So by giving him, instead of saying, hey, look, let's say he tells me the scope of work is 200,000. Would you like to make 250,000? You pay the boys. That forces him to be on time and it forces him to be on budget. And that's how you work with a contractor that you're just starting to. It's a little trick of the trade that I like doing because that way I'm not going to have a contractor in the middle of the project walk away because he's got vested interest in it because he wants to make another $50,000. It's the
Right.
same thing if you do hard money guys or private PMLs, you offer them an equity position. It saves you also on the money because you don't have to go out and pay the boys for the construction. You don't have to pay a construction loan and you don't have to pay for the supplies. And yeah, so you surrendered 50,000, but the contractor is usually the one who has a good rapport with the building inspector. So when he tells you he's got invested 50,000 extra profit, he's going to be on time. And my paperwork makes it where he says, if you go over time or over budget, it comes out of your $50,000 profit, not mine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
And then the second, most people time management wise, I'm a mortgage banker by trade for 19 years, and I did construction of perm loans most of my career. So what happens is I reach out and I say, I'm going to be fixing and flipping this house. You already know that the ARV, let's say, is going to be worth 800,000. So before you get a certificate of occupancy, too many people wait until they get a certificate of occupancy. Then they approach the realtor to find them end buyers. I reach out to my mortgage guys and I say, in the next 3 months, I'm anticipating in 90 days, I'm going to have a $800,000 house available. Who in your pipeline currently is qualifying for 800,000? And that way I close 2 days after I get the certificate of occupancy because I've got them already. My mortgage guys are looking on their pipeline of who qualifies for my house. My realtors are looking for buyers who are looking to buy it for that price. So I'm pre-selling it while I'm doing the construction phase. Just a little.
I love that.
Got you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I know that you had mentioned that last week, Mario, and I thought that that was just so very clever. So you don't have to, worry so much. It's kind of like a wrap, kind of. Where I feel like a lot of people will go into a wrap thinking like, okay, yeah, cool. Let me just like start out with terms, but then they don't really look at the end buyer, the end goal. And obviously with the flip, you want to usually use like agents and stuff, but this is already a perfect way to build up that pipeline. And so not only are you looking at agents to work with, but now you have, mortgage lenders and brokers that you build relationships with simultaneously.
No, so I mean, managing a contractor is an art, always. And I mean, what Mario just, I mean, it was amazing. It was like a small master class. How to manage contractors. That was amazing, Mario. I loved it. So, a lot of people don't value the power of money in the relationship with the contractor. You need to control contractors. Any contractor on the planet is the same species, no matter where they're from, what country. I mean, I've seen it all. And when they have vested interest in the property, or their performance is tied to the performance of the property somehow, I mean, JV, yes, JV or carrot offering, absolutely is motivation. But also, you don't pay them until work is done. And I mean, when you go into bigger deals, their performance is also measured by the timeline they commit to. If not, they get penalized. So when there are things in place, people make things happen. Otherwise, there are 1,000 reasons why something did not work out. So yeah, absolutely love it. And here is another perspective on contractors, by the way. So a little background story. When I first started, I was paying general contractors maybe double of what I pay now to my, because I am the general contractor, basically. I mean, I have project manager in-house and I run the subs directly. So I take that risk. But back then we didn't have this network of subs or subcontractors established. So we would go to a general contractor, and when I saw their prices, I was like, I mean, there even within general contractors, there was a huge disparity between the prices from one contractor to the other. So I launched an experiment, and one of my friends lost his job, and I offered him a job as a project manager. Told him, go out there. And I mean, we were mostly doing rentals at that time. I mean, we were doing 20 rehabs at a time, but they were all for rentals. And when it's a rental, a small mistake can be like, is okay. So I was okay with my friend making these mistakes, but I told him, I need you to find I mean, how low can you go on a price for like painting the whole house? So we went from paying like almost 8 to 10 grand down to down all the way to like 12, $1,300. Of course, I don't use $1,200, $1,300 guys anymore, or I've never used them. I only tried it for a couple of those experiments. But in that experiment, I found a contractor who was willing to build a team with us, who was willing to do a lot of things. And I mean, it's hard to find these people that are flexible. So he was one of those guys. But my friend was doing a flip simultaneously, and I was helping him with his flip. And the reason I offered him this job is because I saw the skill set that I really appreciated was attention to details. So he was there at that flip all the time, like checking everything that contractor did. But in that whole process, I mean, Houston is a huge city. I'm from Houston. This friend of mine lives on the west side of Houston, and the flip is on the far east side of Houston. And he went to that flip 27 times during the process. So I asked him, like, what the hell are you doing? Like 27 times if you go to every flip 27 times or every project, you're never gonna make money. I mean, you need to put more robust system in place in order to get over this problem. So when I hired him, he stopped going altogether. Okay, he went to the other extreme, and while doing that, we were developing this contractor, and he was paying this contractor whatever he asked for. Like he asked for, hey, Mr. Joel, I need $5,000 to buy flooring. He would send 5,000. Oh, I need $5,000 to buy this. So he'd send another 5,000. And he had overloaded this guy to where he couldn't manage it. And a lot of these subcontractors, when you deal with them, they're very unsophisticated. Okay. Sorry for the long story, but the what ended up happening is this contractor basically failed and ran away with 40 grand of our money. Okay. All of these 5,000, I mean, every time my partner would, I mean, initially everything went well for 6 months or so. But after that, I'm sure he ran into some financial trouble or he couldn't scale up. So he just started taking the money and pocketing it. So in that process, I don't regret losing $40,000 because we ended up spending over $1 million on rehabs that year, and we still came out positive even after losing that 40 grand. But what I regret the most is in that process, I lost that contractor because I still know to date, I mean today, that that contractor was a good contractor. Because we didn't manage this guy well, we lost that relationship. So it is a very it's an I mean even I'm amazed sometimes how these things work. It is almost your responsibility to maintain that relationship because you're dealing with unsophisticated people for the most part. So how they if you pay them more money than required, what they do with it is you can't tell what they will do with it. And most contractors on the planet, their goal is once they collect all the money that a lot of times when the project is 90% complete, they are going to start calling you. Hey, can you send the last draw? And that's the time when you have to literally put your foot down. Hey, I need to come out there, and they will give you 1,000 reasons. Oh, my guys need to if you hold my money like this, you have to put your foot down and manage expectations very creatively. At that point, and check that property, and oftentimes you're gonna find out it's not complete because they are and what happens when you give that money? If you actually gave them that money, they are gonna go home, relax. They are gonna stop managing their guys. Their guys are gonna stop managing your job. Go home, relax. Because as soon as you pay them, they are gonna pay their guys because they don't care about your job. They care about their guys staying with him. They're staying with them. So in that whole process, your project is what's gonna suffer. And if you start arguing with them the next day, you're gonna lose the relationship. So it is amazing how it works. By controlling contractors with money, you are actually helping the whole ecosystem of this contract. So I again just a very huge lesson I learned. This was around 2020. I did this. I mean, or maybe 2019. But be very very good point Mario brought, an amazing style that he has that we should from.
Yeah.
But I hope it helps Jason. Yeah.
Hopefully I saved myself those 14,000.
Just
I believe in you. We didn't hear what you said, Chad.
awesome. No, I was just asking him what he said. I missed it for a second.
Oh, I just said thank you for sharing the story. I said hopefully I saved myself on those
No, of course,
14,000
yes.
by keeping that relationship, you know?
Yes, 100%. No, good luck, man. I hope you hit it out of the park.
Thank you. Thank you.
Real quick
All
before
right.
we go to Raylene,
Who do we have next?
I know Sammy. Oh my gosh, Chai's gone. Oh, he got kicked out. Sammy, I know that you had a deal that you've been wanting Chai to look at, right? If he's here.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach out.
Hey, sorry. Hey, Sammy, I'm so sorry. Yes, there's so many things going on. I just got back from my India trip, and it's been a roller coaster every day.
No, I hear you. Yeah, we just
Can you all hear me fine?
Yeah, now we can.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Whenever you get
Sorry.
a chance, I'd like for you to, take a look at it.
All right. What is
Tell me what you think.
it in the I think it's in the email, right? I think you
Yes,
sent it to
yeah,
my
I'll send it over through
email.
email.
And what's your email? Just so it's easier to find.
I believe I sent it through. I'm trying to find out which email. I believe it's Samuel_420.
Cool. And Chai, if you want, you can forward it to me and I can share it on the screen. Or we don't have to.
No, yeah, let me forward it to you. That's a good idea.
Cool. In the meantime, oh, Sammy also dropped off. Oh, no, he's here. There we go. In the meantime, Sammy, you want to give everybody kind of a quick rundown of what you're looking at?
Yeah, so it's a 15 unit over in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
I only received a T1 on it. I asked for a T12, but she did send some income statements, a 12-month income statement, and I'm trying to look it over right now. And just some quick pics, like a pitch deck on it. It's got some pictures on it, kind of says what's the neighborhood like, the historic landmarks, park recreation, all that good stuff, local businesses. But that's about it. That's all I really received. So it wasn't really enough for me to do. I know I need something more than a T1, obviously, and Chai probably needs that as well. But I was wondering if he can take a look at it and maybe do like a quick analysis if he can, and tell me if this is worth even pursuing.
Yeah, 100%. Let's look at it. All right. Okay. Let me see. Can you pull up this address on Zillow or
Yes. Let me find it.
So now the occupancy is low on this one too. Uh, I don't know if it's just this time of year. Like I said, I only got a T1, so I couldn't really tell if this is more seasonal. Most deals are on multifamily anyway. I think I can't remember what I sent over, if it was 60 something percent, like 67% occupancy at the moment.
okay?
I mean, so there's some value add there for sure, I think. Uh, just kind of want to get your perspective, Chai.
Yeah. Let's see.
Are they all 2 1s?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And what is the asking price?
Mm.
Sammy, what's the asking?
She didn't really give me an asking price. I told her I'd get back with her on what the potential,
Okay.
what the potential was on there.
Okay. Uh, open that PNL, Jada. Okay. Let's see net total operating income and go to like it's okay. It's around 10 grand per month and it's declining. Why? That's weird. 110 grand for the whole year. So if you go out in the market right now, you are gonna get in the range of like 7 to 8% interest rate, depending on the credit you have. So you have to underwrite it for higher cap rate than that, unless you see rents increasing quite a bit. So it was a loaded sentence, but I'll break it down. So if I'm buying a piece of property for $1 million, okay, and I have a loan on that property for 7%, but I am only making, after like whatever rent I receive minus all the expenses, whatever is left is only 5% of what I paid, which is $1 million in cash to purchase this property,
Right.
and I try to get a 7% loan on it, I'm going to lose money because I'm paying 7% to the bank, but I'm only making 5% return on paper for this property. So I have to pay 2% out of pocket to make this deal, or to maintain this deal, right? So that's why what I'm making should be more than my interest rate. So what I'm making on that property after paying all expenses, if I were to buy that property for cash, is called cap rate.
Yep.
I'll repeat that again. I'm paying cash. Consider a scenario as if I'm paying cash, $1 million, to purchase a piece of property. I'm collecting whatever rent minus all the expenses. Whatever's left is equal to, say, 10% of $1 million, which is 100,000. So I'm collecting, say, 200,000. My expenses are 100,000. So I got 100 grand left at the end of the year. That 100 grand equals to 10% of my investment in cash. Okay, so that's called cap rate. That return on that investment is called cap rate. Now, if I'm buying a property at 10 cap, and then I go out in the market and get a 7% interest rate loan, then I'll have to pay 7 out of the 10% to the bank, which is approximately 70,000 in a perfect world. But again, compounded interest and all these things change the calculation. But let's say in a simple interest scenario, if I'm paying 70 grand out of the 100 grand left to the bank for giving me 70% of the $1 million, then I got left with $30,000, but I also have only 300,000 of my investment left in it. So I can take that 700,000 and go somewhere else and buy more property. That is the idea. But that's what cap rate is. If you are still confused, please drop a comment. But now, the reason I mentioned all that is because we need to look at this statement on the screen and determine what that cap rate should be in order for you to make sense of this deal. Okay. So remember one thing very carefully. When you buy a piece of property, it has some value because, if I were to build that similar property today next to it, it's going to cost me money. So that means something that is already built has value. However, when you are buying multifamily or commercial properties, just because they have some value doesn't mean you pay that value. Because in a commercial world, you need to be paying based on how much money it is currently generating. Because let's say I go and I mean, I have in a crazy world, crazy scenario, let's say I have enough money to buy Burj Khalifa. Okay. But Burj Khalifa is vacant. Am I gonna buy it for what it's worth? Probably not, because I cannot afford to keep that money just sitting around while it is getting filled up. Okay. It's not the best use for my money. My money is not gonna grow uh, by making that purchase. I'm sure. I mean, if you're getting it, even I mean, even vacant buildings get sold, but they get sold at a heavy discount compared to if they were filled. So going back to this spreadsheet, we need to check what their current NOI, net operating income, at the end of the year looks like. Okay, so they were at 12,000 in January and February in their total rental income. And okay, that is weird. Go to the left 1 second. So this is also one of the coolest things about underwriting. Okay, just like I noticed something very quickly, you should be noticing these things too by practicing underwriting. I'm telling you, if you're new to real estate and you just practice underwriting for the next year or two on a regular basis while you're doing one or two deals, whatever else you're doing, you focus on underwriting as a side activity, as a learning activity or development activity, you will get to a point where you notice things, you notice patterns. Okay. Once you look at like this statement 100 times, because all the statements look just like this. Okay. There is a universal standard how things look when it comes to P&L. This is a profit and loss statement. Okay. So learning to read financial statements is one of the top things on your priority. Uh, it should be your top priority to learn to read and break down financial statements. I was actually talking to one of my cousins who works for me, and he wants to grow with me. This is the exact advice I just gave him. He works in my accounting department, but he still doesn't know how much money I make. I mean, if I was the accountant, I would first run the P&L and look, just out of curiosity, I mean, what that business is doing. Okay. So this statement, they are collecting a total rent of $11,780.61. Yet their total operating income, oh, that is before, it's not net operating income. Okay, I got you. Okay, so I was thinking of that as net operating income. That's why I messed up. Because I was like, how can a net operating income be higher than your rent? Because, so that's what I noticed. But again, that's why you dig deeper and clarify things. Scroll down, let's see where the net operating income is showing. Okay,
NOI.
right there. NOI, net operating income. Okay, that's more likely. That's right. So, but again, very like cool thing to notice here is in the first month, their net operating income is extremely low compared to the other months. So there are certain things these guys are doing. Those are probably their capital expenses, but they are applying it to regular expenses. So capital expenses and regular expenses are two different things. So their actual net operating income might be higher, but the fact that they're showing a lower number is a good thing from an investor perspective, because you don't have to go and argue with them because they already gave you the ammunition to negotiate with them. They themselves are showing you that their net operating income sucks. So it doesn't. Okay. So you don't have to go and correct this with the seller. you actually use it to your advantage because we live in the real world. We all went to school. Now it's time to play. So, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, I'm not asking you to steal things from someone's plate, but if they are making that mistake, you don't. I mean, you're on the other side. Don't be don't be a hero and then lose a deal because they will still negotiate from other perspective, like if they found out this. But anyways, go to the right. Let's see what the total net operating income looks like. So before the end of the year, there is two more months to be added to this. And if I add, say, I mean, the average is like in between 3 and 5. So I'll call it 4 grand for each month. About another $8,000 is going to be added to the 49. That is going to be 57,000 total net operating income. Okay. So add in that cell, any cell, just put a formula, Jada, equals to 57,000 divided by the cap rate of 10%, which is 0.1. What is that number? $570,000. That's what you should be offering these people. This is a very rough calculation. Okay. Now, if they entertain that number, this should be your LOI. This should be your like 5-10 second underwriting of a deal based on the P&L. So that will make the unit price for 14 units closer to 50 grand. Okay. Am I right? Divide that by 14.
Should be
No,
15
sorry,
units.
40. It's 15 units.
Yeah, 15 units.
So
Should be about 38 per door.
38, 40
38,000
grand.
per door. Yeah.
Okay. So that might be too low considering the market because it looks like this property is not managed very well. That's why you are getting a good deal. Because their NOI from month to month has crazy ups and downs. Like 6 grand to 2 grand, back to 5, back to 3. Like it's not the most ideal scenario. But throw them a number. Throw a number at them and see if this sticks. Okay. If it does stick, then you have a baseline to go off of. Or most likely they're going to come back and say, no, we need a minimum of 700,000. So now you have to dig into their P&L and find those mistakes and see if 700,000 is going to make sense. Okay. And those mistakes are going to look basically, those mistakes are going to come from segregating their expenses and capital expenses. Like routine expense and capital expense, the difference is like if you put a roof on the entire property, you added value. That is capital expense. That doesn't go towards your monthly expense. That was a planned expense. When you purchased the property for 700,000, you had already looked at the roof and you had already factored that $50,000 to $100,000 rehab. And on your books, you were already ready because you ran your underwriting based on 800,000 price point by adding that $100,000 rehab. So your numbers already work at 800,000 and you are just drawing from that 100,000 pre-planned expense, which is capital expense. Okay, anything that like water leaks or sheetrock repairs or make ready, those are your regular expenses. Those are unforeseen or those are just part of the day-to-day thing. Those were not planned. Okay. Those were still planned, but not the way I'm telling you. They were in your calculation, they were expected. But when you apply a capital expense that you had planned to your expense, then your expense is going to be inflated, and that's going to drive your price down when you calculate based on NOI.
Like this, right? So like they have repairs
Correct.
up the line. I mean, would turnover
Correct.
as CapEx?
So property tax, look at that. So they paid the property tax in that month. That's why their NOI is looking really low. Okay. They should be spreading that month. Okay. That is the not capex. So that expense is just making that month look bad, but that should be spread out throughout the year. So go to like another month. Let's see, scroll down just a little. Okay. Oh, there is your NOI. So 7,000, 6,000, 4,000. What happened there? 3,900. So the total repairs are 4,500. In
Oh,
that, there is a turnover of 3,950. So we need to ask what that 3,950 is. Or we also need to ask what is that 2,835. So those could very well be the capital expenses. Okay. So, and these people might have held this property for a long, long time. So for them, the capital and regular expenses are getting like mixed up. But when you buy the property, you need to walk all the units. You need to look at all the roofs, all the ACs, all the water heaters, all the flooring, all the cabinets, all the countertops, and come up with a budget of what it's going to take for you to take that property to the 100% rehab completion level. And that budget should be your capex, should be already in your capex. So considering 570 price point, you should have two reasons for that offer. Okay. When you make that offer, you tell that realtor or the agent, whoever that is, hey, this property probably, I mean, you need to go walk the property for this, but you need to tell them, hey, this property needs $100,000. So even if I'm offering 570, I'm actually buying it for 670. Okay. One point for your negotiation. Second point for your negotiation is I'm buying this property in a distressed condition because your expenses are very high. Don't tell them or educate them how they're mixing capex and regular expenses. Just say your expenses are high. Now I need to fix those problems. And that's going to take a few months. That's why my offer is this much. Okay. Also, a valid point could be, I don't know in this scenario if it's applicable, but let's say their rents are $200 below market. Then you tell them, hey, if you want 700,000, I want you to spend another 6 months and raise those rents, and then I will buy it for that price. But if you want me to buy it now at those rent levels, I'm the one who is going to spend 6 months and or a year and raise those rents. So I'm the one who has to receive that value. So, and it is very clear if it's coming through a broker who specializes in multifamily, they know all these things. It's not a surprise to them. But when they hear that from the buyer, they know that the buyer is serious. They know they're working with a sophisticated buyer, and they're more willing to respond favorably. So it's not that what you say is something that is going to justify your value, which it does justify, but they already know these things. Okay. What it really justifies is your presence in that deal. And then brokers respond favorably because they know they are working with a sophisticated individual or a business. So that's why you need to know all these things. Yes, Mario.
Ask you, can you hear me now? Yep.
Yes.
What I was just curious is when I see something like that, what I do is like in New York, a typical eviction attorney is $10,000. So if it's below market or the rents are not at market value, I tell the people that are selling it, hey, look, I have to deduct $10,000 to evict each one of these. So,
Perfect.
To me, you have a choice. I'm going to take, let's say, 20 units. I'm deducting 10,000 each plus 2 months of holding costs while I upgrade, plus another 10,000 of upgrading each place, to bring it to market value uh, on it. So I said, look, I have to deduct $300,000 from the purchase price. And I also tell them, I said, based upon the bank won't lend. It's based upon your non-performing asset that you mismanaged. Unfortunately, I can take it over, but I'm paying what the bank will lend me, and the bank won't lend me the price tag you have. Is that something you approach that way?
Yeah, no, 100%. This is
Okay.
amazing.
Okay.
Like great, lot of good points there. And again, so it's not, I mean, what Mario just added to what I had is it all like comes down to really knowing your shit. Like uh, you're not using this knowledge to trick a seller into giving you the best deal. You are really gaining this knowledge because these expenses are going to come up. It's not some random stuff we are using to make up a negotiation point. It is, I mean, I mean, that's why they are going to respond favorably because they know, because even brokers want repeat business. When you are ready to sell, I mean, the broker wants to work with you again. So when they work with a sophisticated individual, they know that they have a chance at, so you turn that broker into your asset and they will also work for you. Okay, they will go back to the seller and say, hey, look, Mr. Seller, these are I mean, all valid points, which is why your value should be this. And they might have already had that discussion, but some sellers are just adamant and, hey, I don't care. I want to start with $1 million. I want to see if there is that one stupid buyer out there that I can score with. If not, I will go down. So they just, I mean, when they don't hit that uh, like one out of the park, they will come down to the level where it makes sense, work with you. So on this property, I would start with that 570 number. But I would also encourage you to read these things and find anomalies. Like we just looked at 2835. What happened? General maintenance and repairs. There is not enough explanation. Turnover 3950. Maybe it's a make ready for some unit. Okay. Then there are a few other charges you can look for. Like keep scrolling to the right in the month or like column J. Like what happened there? Why is it only 2200? Scroll up. Is it the rent? Because the expenses don't look terrible. I think the rent's collection is terrible. So if there is super high turnover in this property, that might tell you that there is some issue with the area. There may be some issue with the property itself, how it's managed. I mean, maybe they are not uh, doing the maintenance on time. So there could be 1,000 reasons why, but you need to know those reasons. It's not completely weird if you go and talk to a couple of tenants, like as a random third person. It's totally okay. But of course, I mean, you should not be disturbing tenants and whatnot. You should maybe go as a potential tenant and ask them, hey, what do you like staying here? Like, I'm looking for an apartment. This looks like a nice apartment. What do you say? So find out things without hurting any relationships, either with broker or the seller. Yeah, Mario, go ahead.
One thing I've noticed, what I'll do is this warrants me to call up the eviction attorneys. I like talking to eviction attorneys because I'll say to them, in the last year, how many evictions have you done on this building? So if the guy
Love it. Yep.
says I am averaging 5 to 10 evictions a month, that
Yeah.
means there's something structurally or something in each apartment that's mismanaged.
Management wise.
Right.
Yeah.
And therefore, I don't have to disturb the tenants. I get it directly from the eviction attorney, and he becomes my best friend. He's my resource on all of the properties that he's being hired to evict. So if he's averaging 5 to 10 evictions in 30 days, 90 days, there's something wrong with that building, you know?
Yep.
And that to me, I don't have to, instead of getting my guys from the McDonald's that are sitting there and I buy them breakfast at McDonald's to go out and apply for being a tenant in the apartment. Instead, I don't talk to them. I just get the eviction attorney gives me that inside trick. You know.
No, love it. I mean, so many ninja tactics Mario has. It's amazing. So, I mean, there is certain amount of knowledge you need to gain, but after a point, you have to start applying your own creativity once without disturbing the current ecosystem of that industry, because you cannot be a disruptor without completely learning the fabric of that industry. So you cannot touch and change that fabric until you get to a level where you are knowledgeable enough. Okay.
Hey Jada,
Let's
there's
see.
a PDF rent roll that shows past due for the month of October, the end of month of October. So that can give you a snapshot of what's going on there too.
Is it this one? As of October?
Yep. If you look at the past due column, should be the one I'm looking at's PDF form. But yeah, let's see.
Oh, this one?
Past due, yep. You see for the month of October totaling almost $11,000 for
Wow.
past due, you know.
Okay.
They are saying current and then there is past due. That's weird because the status is current.
Right.
And on the right side, it's past due. So yeah, that's like 2 months rent in some cases. So yeah, I think I can almost comfortably in this case that this property is managed terribly, not very well managed, which is a great opportunity
That's
for
good
you.
for us. Mhm.
But go back to the P&L, Jada. I have one more point I want to add. So notice the taxes. Okay, where is the property taxes? 4,800 or something, right? Yeah, 4,300 twice a year. That's like 9 grand almost. So 9 grand property tax. If it is, sorry, one sec. If it is, let me see, 9,000 divided by point, not one. Is it like generally 1% of the property value in Richmond? Is that the tax rate on an
I'm
average?
I'm not sure. I'm not from Virginia. I'm right here in Houston with you, Chai.
Okay. Oh yeah. No, that is correct. But I'm just wondering if we can find out. It's okay. So my point is, if we can assume it's around 1%, then that means the appraisal district might have valued this property at 900,000. So you can actually go to like type in that address and find out which county it is, and just go to the central appraisal district of that county. Virginia County.
Oh, Henrico.
Enrico?
Yeah.
Yeah, Enrico CAD. Just put CAD. In Enrico County CAD. Scroll down something.
What were we looking for again?
County Appraisal
The
District.
CAD stands for Central Appraisal District. Yeah.
Tax assessor?
Yeah,
Assessor.
that's fine. And then put their address in and check what the appraised value is. Okay. Hold up. Huh. Should be tax assessors and county. I don't think this is the Henrico County Virginia Tax Assessor Office. I think it's just a compiled list of all the yeah, I think that Henrico.us. Yep. And then find the property.
Yeah, this is all about an appealing finance and taxes.
No, go to services.
Services.
Yeah. Utility bill, tax payments or tax assessments.
Ah.
Okay, let me search it here.
Tax filing. Oh, business tax. Land records recording.
Okay, it is
Community development.
and what's the address?
3117 Meadow Bridge.
Meadow Bridge. 3117 Meadow Bridge. Okay. It's fine. Like go back to P&L. The point I'm trying to make is we need to check what the current valuation is for that property. And lot of times the valuation is probably lower than what you're buying at. Okay. I mean, 900,000 is clearly higher than what you're paying for. But if I'm wrong and if the tax rate is higher, then we can assume that when we purchase, the tax assessment is going to go up. If it is if they notice was a sale, and if in some cases they actually see how much it sold for. So in that scenario, you may end up getting a higher tax bill next year. So you need to account for that already. So don't use the property tax numbers that are given to you as it is. I would rather use the property tax number based on your purchase price after stabilizing and everything. Unless you are getting a ridiculously low deal, then it's a different story. But oftentimes that's not the case. So do account for those things. Your NOI will go down further if your taxes are going to go up after purchase, after stabilizing. So go ahead, Mario.
What I'm curious about is I'll use the commercial broker bank and I'll say if I acquire this asset, I asked them and I went back to you guys to do the new loan.
with me, what would you charge me? And they're able to give me financially more accurate because they've already lent on this asset. It's a little trick I get sometimes because I was a banker for 19 years myself. And I'll say, look, I can either go to my hedge fund guys or I can go to you guys and get the funding for it. What would you charge me and what would the numbers, what would you appraise it at? What would you lend me the money at? And that's a good counter offer when I tell people, I have an actual bank that will lend me the money and your asset's not worth the price that you're selling because you mismanaged. So, it's just a little side thing to think about.
Absolutely.
And quick question for, I guess everyone. So repairs are above the line or below? Because I would assume they're, no?
Repairs are what?
Wouldn't repairs be CapEx?
No, so those repairs are just regular expense, routine expense. CapEx is what I explained earlier, like what you already factored in as part of the capital improvement plan at purchase.
Okay.
Because they are also depreciated differently. You can also get accelerated depreciation on certain things like that compared to your normal depreciation schedule. So it's also smart to maintain that separately.
Cool.
Again, I say a lot of these things and don't do it myself, and which is very common, okay? Because I manage my business very differently. I don't like to I'm not in the business. I mean, I'm not an infopreneur. I have done a lot of these things, what I teach you, but oftentimes I'm also struggling in certain areas. I'm also growing my business. So I go after the lowest hanging fruit every day, just like you do. Okay. But I don't lose track. I mean, I want to do this cost segregation. I want to do all these due diligence. But sometimes my people are not trained enough. Sometimes we are overwhelmed with the amount of projects we have. So we take, I mean, water flows in the direction of least resistance, basically. That's how it is. So we flow in the direction of least resistance. We are very flexible and fluid in our business. Like if cost segregation is going to save me 4,000 versus me doing another deal is going to make me 20,000, I'm going to go after that deal and lose that 4 grand or worry about that later. So that's growth mindset. Okay. It's not that so infopreneurs are different people. Okay. Infopreneurs are people who are extremely active on social media and teaching you things that they don't do or don't plan to do ever. They are just copy pasting from some other entrepreneurs' podcasts or social media or reels, whatever, wherever they get it from. They are just learning about it. The concept makes sense, but it's not like they have never applied it or they never ever will. So those are called infopreneurs. But anyway, in this scenario, I always like to tell people the real story, how I mean how a business can be grown, and you don't have to be vigilant and active uh, about applying every possible principle you learned or every possible idea you learned. I mean, you can skip calling that eviction attorney. You don't have to dig deeper into financial statements. Do whatever, I mean, try to take action with whatever resources you have. That's more important than anything else. And keep improving. Don't be a, I mean, everybody is a creature of habit, but breaking those habits and moving forward and building new habits, better habits every day. That's what makes you a better businessman, a better person, right? So that's what I would say. But I think it's a great deal. It looks like it, Sammy. If you want to pursue it further, I'm definitely happy to get on a call privately if you get some favorable response from this agent or realtor.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. All
Yeah,
right.
I'll
Any
try to
other
get a hold of
questions?
you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's chat. But yeah, get a hold of the realtor and text me or email me that hey, looks like a great deal. If we can get it closer to that number. And again, I may be way off and they may just laugh at you, but the numbers speak for itself, right? In certain because if you are going to pay 7% interest rate, you sure as hell cannot buy this for less than 7 cap because there is no upside that I know of. If you come back and say, oh, the rents are only 50% of the market, then yeah, we are going to have a different discussion.
Right.
But
I just have to
we
do
need a
some.
little more information. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to do some more market analysis on this project to see.
Yeah.
The broker says this is under market rents as of current. I just don't know what that is yet.
Okay.
And it looks like there's some value add there for sure. But definitely wondering
So-
why these tenants aren't paying and why there's such a low occupancy rate, right?
So remember only one thing, which is I applied 10% cap rate and came up with 570. But in that area, because it's a value add deal, because it's a because it has more, so maybe 10% is over the top. So it might be you may have to adjust the cap rate. So see what she says. Like, doesn't hurt to lowball them and then get their actual motivation out. They may come back and say, "Hey, that number is ridiculous, but we'll work with you if you are around 700."
Right.
So get that out of them, and then we'll stop.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Sammy. Now I got
Yep.
one more from Raylene. She has a triplex in California. Raylene,
Okay.
put on your
Yeah,
camera.
California just amazes me.
And this
2.3 million for a triplex.
was a seller finance, Raylene?
Okay.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, seller finance. Awesome. What are the
Hello,
rents?
sorry. I'm sorry?
Oh, hey, Raylene, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
Good, good. Claremont, California. Are you local?
Yes, it's actually just a few miles over. It's probably about 20 minutes away from me.
Nice. Oh, okay, perfect. What are the rents in this area?
Around $2,000 to $3,000 are the rent areas, even four as well, depending on it's a really kind of I would say a upscale city.
Okay.
That's nice.
It's really expensive. Mhm.
Okay. Oh, wow, that looks pretty nice. Uh, so $3,000, it's a triplex. How big is it? Like how many bedrooms? Oh, they're all 3 2.
So there's one unit, I believe it's the front unit, and that is 2 bed, 1 bath. Then their second unit is 3 bed, 2 bath, and then the third unit is 4 beds, 2 baths.
Oh,
Did I say
okay.
that right?
So combined rent for all three, how much are you expecting?
They are under market rent right now. If you kind of scroll down a little bit more, I was writing the details in on the Google Doc. I'm sorry. I was actually able to get in touch with the broker and he sent me over their marketing package. So I was just kind of copying and pasting the details in here. But I'm very new to real estate. I just joined Sub 2 a few months ago. So I'm still learning underwriting and what all these numbers mean. So I actually kind of learned a lot from your last conversation.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. That's the total
So the
return.
rents are on the bottom, I believe. I was just updating that right now. If I go on here, so the current rents right now for the 2-bed, 1-bath is 2,000. For the 3-bed, 2-bath, it's 2,800. And for the 4-bed, 2-bath, it's 2,800. But market rent, it's about 1,000 more for the 4-bedroom, 2-bath. For the 3-bed, 2-bath, it's 34. And then the 2-bedroom, 1-bath can go up $800.
Start this format range, rental range, monthly income. And it's not really income. Scroll up. Jada, can you
Go.
scroll up?
Yes, let me.
Or are you sharing it?
Oh, no, I'm not sorry. Jada's sharing it.
Or if you are dropped off? You can share it if you have it.
Okay, let me open it here. Can I share? I can. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing the screen. Okay. This is where I was kind of writing in right here, but it does say the exact same thing right here.
Okay, and scroll up. Okay, wait, right there. Okay, total expense is 35 grand. Okay. Okay, and scroll up again. The current rent minus net operating income is 67. Why is that? No, less expenses. So the net operating income will go, net cash flow after debt is 3%, 3.34 or 4 points and 4.2 after you take it all the way to the market level. So what is the debt service expectation they have?
Does that mean, what does debt service mean actually?
So debt service means what is the loan in, like debt service is basically just a fancy word for a loan.
You have the PITI in the first page, right?
Yes. And that was just calculated actually from Zillow.
Okay, so they didn't give it to you.
Not that I am familiar with. Whatever I have here, I actually just got from their marketing package that they sent to me.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, scroll up then. Okay. There was a debt, like a monthly PITI or something somewhere earlier I saw.
Up.
Is it further up?
Yeah. Up. There,
Okay.
PITI.
So that is the biggest problem, that your collection is less than your PITI. So PITI, do you know what PITI is?
The principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Yeah. Yes. So your monthly collection is less than that. So what is your goal with this property? Are you looking at it for yourself, or are you
I was hoping to
just
house hack,
using it as
but
a, oh, I see.
but I think
So
I prefer probably a fourplex to house hack in to have
correct.
more income. But exit strategy, still not too sure. I guess I wanted to see where this would go and if I'm open to partnering, and even if someone wants to take this, like I can just see what the process is just to learn.
For
I mean,
house
it's a
hack,
really
it
good
might be
community.
okay. Because you're gonna get a, I mean, I'm assuming you're looking at FHA loan.
I'm not too sure what I was looking into. I'm still trying to figure out the whole process of
Okay.
this and what to
Yeah,
choose.
no worries. I love this uh, line of questioning. So what you're what you really do when you house hack is you're buying a piece of property
Mhm.
using a loan product which is limited for 1 to 4 units. Because after five and I mean for 5 and up, it's considered multifamily. When you are under 4 units, that's where people mostly house hack for anything under 4 units. That's when you can get a loan as if it's your personal residence using a first time home buyer program, or also called FHA, where you can go as low as 3.5% down payment. Again, your monthly costs are going to go up when you do that. But there are other ways besides that FHA product. You could buy this and then refinance using that FHA or that type of product. But more than anything else, the numbers that you need to look for is the cap rate number, which is 2.95%.
Mhm.
And how they
Could you
arrived at
explain
that
cap
2
rate
point.
again? I'm
So
sorry.
cap rate is basically if you were to buy this cash for 2.3 million,
Mhm.
after collecting the rents and paying for all the expenses, whatever is left in your hand annualized is 2.95% of 2.3 million.
Mm.
So that is cap rate. So cap rate is basically if you buy this for 2.3 million, you will be left with around, what do you say, maybe like 45 grand or a little over that, 55 grand in your hand every year. That's what they're saying. But even that, I don't follow how, because scroll down. Because they're saying their scheduled rents are 103,000 and their PITI is 14,000 a month. So I don't know how they're gonna be left with 67,000 in hand. Well, don't worry about 67. Sorry, I said that earlier. Because but scheduled rent minus their monthly payments alone is going to uh, make this deal pretty much negative. So we need more clarity on where these numbers are coming from because I can't follow it.
Mm. Okay.
You see what I'm saying, right? 14,000 times 12 is over 150,000, like 168
Yes.
somewhere there.
Yes.
And you're only collecting 103. So
Mm.
really
Okay.
you're in the negative day one.
Yeah.
And even if you go all the way to the market level, even then you're you're negative.
Mm.
So
I
I'm
do
not
know it's
following.
right. I do know that there's no photos of the interior. I know it says that it was last renovated in 2017, but that was actually just a roof. Other than that, for the photos of the property, they're it's not really up to date. Any of the properties. I asked if I can go take a look at the property, but the broker said not until I give him an offer because there are people currently living in the property.
I mean, maybe we are looking at, um, I mean, maybe there is a typo or something in the PITI.
Mhm. when
No,
I
because they
gathered
are
that,
calculating. Yeah.
I actually
What
just
is
gathered from here, from Zillow, because there wasn't anything there. So I just kind of gathered that from,
Oh, so you came up with the PITI.
I did. I just gathered that. They didn't give it to me.
Oh,
But I,
oh, okay, okay, okay.
so maybe that was my right here is where I kind of gathered
Oh, no,
that.
okay. So
Is
they are
that, is that,
calculating that.
okay.
No, so because Zillow is using
Hmm.
their own valuation to tell you what your monthly payment is going to look like. What is the valuation on Google now?
The valuation on what?
Go up
No, go scroll up on
Oh,
Zillow,
all the way up.
mhm.
You'll have like his estimate.
all the way up.
Oh, right here.
It's okay.
2.2.
Yeah, it's right around the asking price. Oh, okay,
Mhm.
so the PITI is not correct, but okay.
Hmm.
So it's telling you how much your payment will be if you were to get a loan.
Right.
But the seller is already offering you financing. So why are you worried
Mhm.
about getting a loan?
I'm not worried about getting a loan. I was actually hoping to go through seller finance, but seller finance, the broker told me that the owner is willing to offer 700K um, at an under market rate of 5 to 6% and only over 3 to 5 years. So 700K is definitely not around the ballpark I was kind of hoping for.
But
But in their marketing,
that's where
I'm
you
sorry.
can do reverse seller carry. So reverse seller carry is you go out, you write up a contract for 2.3 million, you go out, get a mortgage for uh, somewhere around like 70%. And
Mhm.
then the down payment of 30% comes from the 700,000 that seller is willing to carry. So that way you don't have a lot of out of pocket. But in that scenario, I think the deal is not going to work out. I have a feeling because
That's what I was
numbers are so
thinking
tight.
too. Mhm. I just kind of want to get a little bit more clarity because I know this would, if it did happen, this would be my first deal, but it's such a, I mean, obviously I'm in California, so I know prices are going to be very expensive compared to other states, but my goal is to house hack. So that's why I was just wanting to take a look at this one. There's no feelings or attachment to it, but I do know the area is very upscale and I know it's very nice. So I know eventually whenever it get up to market rents and it was kind of cosmetically and what other fixes would be up, it would definitely increase in value.
Did he say why he's looking for a 30% down essentially? That's 700?
No, he just said that he may be able to carry. So it's not 100% the way he worded it, but may be able to carry 700 seller finance. In their
Yeah, so
marketing package, though, he did want 100% of the down payment or 100% of the payment when I
So I
looked at
would
it.
ask these people uh, how they came up with that 2.95%
Okay. And they also didn't
cash
have
on
any
cash.
comps.
So cash on cash return is 2.95%. Ask them to provide a calculation for that.
Okay.
So then you will know. So yeah, I don't agree with their numbers. We'll see. I mean, you need more explanation from them on these numbers.
Is there anything else I should be asking aside from providing like the calculation of the numbers?
Mm.
Go ahead, Mario.
They show you. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean, I guess I'm a hard ass. So what I would do is, I don't care about the Joker broker. He's just worried about his commission. I asked
Yes.
the homeowner, my question would be like Pace says about bunnies and that. My
I
thing
found
is,
them.
why did you come up with the 700,000?
Oh.
Is there, you going to move over to a new place? Are you taking 700,000 to start a new project? That's what I start off when I get owner financing, because most people have this misconception, 700,000. I said, I can't give you the 2.3 million because my calculations justify it at 1.6. It's not worth 2.7. Um, we don't know about just because you improved, it sounded like you said you improved the roof, doesn't mean you upgraded anything else. So
Right.
my question to you is, I tell the broker I need to talk to the homeowner because it's a contract between me and the homeowner, not me translating to you to translate to the homeowner. The homeowner, if I go in front of the courts with a judge, the judge is going to ask me, did you explain it to them? So that would be the first thing. I mean, you got to be a little tougher and say, look, the numbers don't seem to work. I'm willing to have a conversation, but I need to talk to the homeowner. You can listen in. I make sure I said in this industry, I never screw over a commission for a realtor, obviously, or I'll be dead in the industry after doing it for 40 years. But at the same time, I need to talk to the homeowners. So you may find out that the homeowner wanted 700,000 because they're going to need 600,000 to retire in some other project, and they want payments, certain pity in the new place they're moving to, and that will explain it. Or they're divorcing and their ex wants 700,000 from this building. So there's many reasons why you don't have those answers.
Well, the bunnies are his wife passed away. So that was the
Okay.
bunny I found out really early on, but I just didn't know what to do with that.
Well, I mean, your wife went away. Great. So now I'm sorry, condolence for your wife passing. But, are you getting a capital gains issue? Can we, like, use an old real estate investment trick? I don't pay you up front the money if I can pay 3,000 of your bills. So what I have is the title company paying your current mortgage. Let's say he has an electric bill, he has a cellular phone. I will pay 3,000 a month of the equity of this project to his bills, which means it's not going definitely directly to his W-2 being taxed, and then what's left, it's going directly to his bills, which is really offsetting a whole bunch of money because it's going to his trust to pay for his bills versus being paid directly to his W-2, which is taxed. And that will save a lot of money for the man.
Okay. Thank you for that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, get an estate planning CPA guy to give you that information more accurately. But a lot of times, especially with seniors, you got to remember one thing: their whole lifestyle is cash flow. So I say to them, look, would you like to be a bank equity partner with me? Get be get an investor. We're going to be able to generate 8,000 a month. So would you like 2,000 going to your bills? But instead of me giving you each month 2,000, I'm going to pay 2,000 of your bills. Let's calculate how much you owe each month. Oh, I owe 3,500. I'm going to pay 2,000 of that. So you're really only paying 1,500, which is great for them. They get all the benefits without being taxed the same way. It's a big difference.
Ginger asked, is that legal?
Is it legal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like orange, but I'm not wearing it for 30 years. I'm not like the foreclosure queen or whatever, going to jail for stupid. Yeah. I was a banker for 19 years. Yeah, it's legal. If you do it right, that's why. I mean, I have a title company who's also attorneys in 50 states, so I make sure I do it right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody, I hope you tell like everyone you know to come to these to get chai and Mario nuggets because these are gems.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Straight up.
No, thank you, Mario. Amazing addition to all these things. And I mean, I love interactive conversations. It only makes things more interesting and fun. I mean, I can go on like this for hours if I mean, if it wasn't for my family, but otherwise, I mean, I just enjoy doing this and I love engagement from everyone. Please spread the word, invite your friends to join this group. We will bring you more and more things uh, in the group to learn from on these calls. And our goal is to add another call during the week next year. So looking forward to that. But yeah, our current goal is to grow more engagement in the community. So please invite your friends. Like if you are already part of the Facebook group, click on invite and invite as many people as you can and share what we are doing. This is free help. It's not part of any community. I do teach as part of sub 2 as well. If you are sub 2 gator or any other community, feel free to join those calls as well. But this is free knowledge. This is free for anybody to join. They don't have to be part of sub 2 or gator or any other communities. And more, yeah, I mean, more the merrier. And talk to you guys next week. What we have, what, 14th, right? Next week.
14th, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
So
coming.
yeah, after maybe we are not gonna do a call at the end of the year, or we will. I don't know. We'll see, depending on the engagement. But yeah, I want to do one call to talk about 2025, how it's gonna look like, what I'm gonna do, what you should be looking for or should be doing. But we'll do it probably the week after 14th, so we have enough time to market that and get more engagement. So
Put a one in the
let
chat.
your friends know. What is
Yeah.
that?
If you guys want to see like what Chai is planning to do as well, and then also get his tips for us and our different kind of skill levels for the 21st in 2 weeks, put a one in the chat. Because I want to make sure that if we're doing something, it's something that you guys actually want. And I don't know about you, but that would be cool. Like to know what level Chai is at after having
Love it.
done real estate for over a decade. I want to know what that is going to look like for me in a decade. Perfect.
Awesome. No, we're definitely doing it. Thank you guys. Love it. Love the engagement.
Well, thanks everyone. Bring more questions
Thank
and
you.
more deals next week. Good job, Raylene.
Awesome.
Good job,
Talk to
Sammy.
you soon.
Thank you.
Good luck, Raylene. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everybody.